Hey guys, I am back and today I'm going to be doing a quick get ready with me. I feel like I just did one of these, but I finally have things to talk about, so I wanted to film and chat and get ready for my day together. So starting off, I'm just gonna, kind of go through the motions. I've already moisturized my skin, so we're going in with primer. And yeah, so I just put up my last get ready with me. I filmed it before I went on my trip, but I didn't have time to edit it before, so it just went up yesterday. Oops. And then this I think I'll put up next week, just so that I can have a little bit of separation between get ready with me's rather than putting get ready with me's back to back. But yeah, I went to Peru. I went with a very good friend of mine named Max. He and I have been friends since my freshman year of college, so like 2.5 years now. And it was one of the most emotionally rewarding things I think I've ever done. And I say that because we did the 4-day Salcantay trek. We didn't like bus or train to Aguascalientes, which is the town closest to Machu Picchu. They even call it like Machu Picchu town sometimes. We walked. So we started in Moleta, which is a state national park, and we hiked for 4 days to get to Machu Picchu. So on the 4th day, really we hiked for 3 days to get from Moleta to Aguascalientes, and then on the 4th day we walked up all 130, according to my phone, flights of stairs to get to Machu Picchu. And then we explored the park, and then we went back to Cusco that day, so 4 days in total. It was really awesome. The elevation was way higher than anything I've ever been in. Well, I mean, I've been to like high places before, but I've never like physically exerted myself in super high places before. So that was kind of the key difference for me. I was not really as prepared as I maybe thought I was. I was like, okay, I'm in pretty good shape. I can hike. It's hard. It's hard to hike when you feel like the air does not want to go into your lungs. But I made it. It was 61 miles in we walked 61 miles in 5 days. The other days of our trip we were like flying for a good chunk of the day, so we didn't walk very much. We just kind of tried our best. But yeah, it was really beautiful. I am very proud of myself because there was definitely times like walking up the mountain where I was like, can I do this? And then my friend who I ended up going with, we have a very like kind of playfully competitive relationship. That's how we became friends, because in public speaking class we started like we started having like a little kind of mini competition over who was going to give the better speech. And so he and I just have already have that kind of established friendship. And so then as I'm walking up, like, oh my God, I don't know if I can make it, blah, blah, blah. I remember thinking to myself, like, well, you gotta, because like Max is already at the top. He's used to this altitude and runs faster than I do. So he like definitely beat me up the big hills and mountains and stuff. So like I'm walking and I'm like, you gotta, Max is already at the top. First of all, where are you gonna go? Like, they'll airlift you out if you like are dying, but you're not dying, you're fine. So you got to keep going. You got to get to the top, or else Max is going to make fun of you and you're going to be very annoyed. Like, that was just kind of like my stupid thought process to myself, I guess. But it worked, and I did it. I kept going. I pushed through. I have the fattest blister on my heel. Like, it's like this long. Like, it's really gross. Well, it doesn't look gross. It's just very large. So, like, there's that. And, yeah, it was beautiful. I'm going to insert pictures from my trip at the end of this video because I think, you know, if you want to see the pictures, you're more than welcome to, like, skip to the end or stick around to the end or whatever. But I'm just so chatty. I don't know how to layer the pictures over by talking in this new video editing program that I'm using. I've been using for like 6 months. Can't figure it out because I was using iMovie previously, but then I switched from a Mac to a Dell. So don't know how to do it, sorry. So I'll just insert those at the end, but it was really beautiful. I mean, there's certain things that, like, there's certain views that you'll only get if you're willing to go to like 1,400 feet above sea level, you know? And yeah, I've never done anything like this. I've done backpacking trips in like Yosemite and stuff before, but those were like 6 miles of hiking a day, and I was in a group of like all of my classmates, so I like knew everyone. This was something else. We ended up Max and I jumped groups a lot, so like we wanted to do the 4-day trek. And originally with the hiking company that we did, we were in a group that was full of people doing the 4-day trek. The 5-day trek. So there were 18 people that the company that I was working with who wanted to do the Salkantay trek. And they have a 4-day option and a 5-day option. The 5-day option, you just kind of go and do like an extra kind of loop on your way to get to Machu Picchu, but the first couple days of the trip is the same. So instead of having a 4-person group and a 14-person group, they had a 12-person group and a 6-person group for the first like trek of the trip, and then switched it up once the two paths diverged. So the first portion of the trip we were with 4 other people plus our tour guide. So it was me and Max, 2 English people, and then 2 Frenchmen. And it was really cool. You know, there's just certain ways that you get to know people that are just completely unique. And that's a completely unique way. Like, and the things that we all talked about that like everyone got invested in, I thought were really funny. Like, you know, the things that I think we all felt like represented a part of our culture. Not that I think Americans are particularly like cultured, but we were just kind of talking about stuff, and there was a couple conversations where everyone got invested and they were like, no, this is what we love. And those conversations were food, TV shows, and sports. Like, we ended up getting this big conversation of like, oh, what's the big sport in your country? Like, what's the big like thing that everyone watches? Because one of the Frenchmen was a rugby player, and we were like, oh, is rugby big? He's like, okay. He's like, it's only the 4th most listened to. Apparently, rugby is the fourth most listened to sport in France. So like, I think he said number 1 was soccer, and then cycling was up there. I forget what 2 and 3 were, and then 4th is rugby, right? And then he's like, rugby, stadiums routinely sell out. So like his argument was kind of like, it's not the most popular, but it has a very dedicated fan base. So like rugby, he said every town has a rugby team for little kids, and they all the towns play each other, and it's just like it was a big part of his childhood. I thought that was really cool to learn about. And then he was asking us like, oh, what's the big sport? And Max said football, like American football. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like basketball. I mean, right now, March Madness is going on, and people lose their minds for March Madness, right? And I'm not saying football's not popular. I realize fully that football's popular. But like, I was like, we can't ignore the fact that basketball has a very dedicated fan base. That was super fun. They were very nice. There was only one other girl, so me and Molly became besties. And yeah, it was, you know, they are people who I will probably never see again, but have made a very fun and specific impact on my life. One of my favorite memories was the Frenchman decided to teach us French, and I very jokingly went, I know how to speak French. And Clement goes, oh really, what can you say? And I go, voulez-vous coucher avec moi? And he's like, yeah, every American knows how to say that, because it means, do you want to sleep with me? And then I said, vas-tu faire acouler? Which means go F yourself. And then he started dying laughing. And then I go, du macaron de framboise. Merci beaucoup. And then he was like, okay, you know how to say 3 things, but they are 3 specific things. And I feel like you could get far in France. And I'm like, exactly. Because I know bonjour. I know how to order 2 macaron. I also know how to order 2 chocolate croissants. Need to learn how to order like wine or something, like a glass of house white, and then I'll just know all the French I ever need to know, right? But yeah, he was entertained by me, my fluency. And yeah, that was, so yeah, we were with them for the first 3 days, and then at the kind of the end of the 3rd day, we switched to this other group that was it was 12 people. They all knew each other. That's why it was a group of 12 and a group of 6 rather than like 2 groups of 9. But it was a group of Israeli people who were about to get off of their like time in the military, I guess is the right way to word it. I'm not really sure. We didn't talk to them as much. They just, you know, it's hard when there's a group of like 12 of them who all know each other, and then it's just you and Max. It was just me and Max, like, oh, we introduced ourselves. They all said names at us, and now they're all just talking in, I believe, Hebrew, I think. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And so, you know, it's definitely a little bit, yeah, it was definitely just like a little bit out of my element, but kind of cool in a very cool way. So yes, that was very fun. And so while we were with them, we ended up doing most of the stuff by ourselves, because it was just walking from Hydroelectrica, which is a town kind of at the, I don't want to say the wrong side of what Machu Picchu, but Machu Picchu is a mountain, and the name for the ruins, because the ruins kind of sit on Machu Picchu, between Machu Picchu Mountain and Huayna Picchu Mountain. And what was I gonna say? Oh, so we're on the other side of the mountain is where Hydroelectrica is. So we just kind of walked around. We followed the train tracks around Machu Picchu Mountain, and then got to Aguas Calientes at like 8 p.m. Ate dinner, was thankfully able to take a hot shower, and then the next morning we just did a separate tour, because I believe the rest of the group did a tour like in Hebrew or something, and we did a tour in English, which was very fun. Just the amount of like information that there is to know about the Inca people and their culture was so much fun to learn. I mean, like, we did a lot of presentations in my world history class of like all the different empires. So I ended up doing the Spanish Empire, but someone did the Mayan Empire. Well, yeah, I don't know if they called it empires. I think it was like kind of cultures and or significant cultures, I guess. So like there was the European ones, Roman, English, Spanish. Then there was the Ottoman Empire, Mongolian, and then Mayan and Incan, and a couple others, I think. But anyways, we did those in high school, but I didn't remember everything super duper well, and then just like repeating everything, learning like in the place was so cool. The history was just incredible. There's you realize how kind of lucky the Spanish got, because, you know, like, yes, the Spanish and most European countries that conquered other countries, they had gunpowder. Very cool. Like, that was their big advantage. But the Spanish conquered, like, kind of the Incan Empire with just 100 soldiers, because they got to, from what I learned, they got to Mexico, or what is now Mexico, before they got to the Incan area, which was Ecuador, or little bits of Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Argentina, and Bolivia and Chile. That was where the Incans were spread out down the west coast of South America. And so they brought the diseases that wiped out a lot of people about 15 years before they actually ever got to like Ecuador and Peru. And so those diseases spread, and they went from 12 million people to like 500,000 people, or like less than 1 million people. It's hard to count for sure. In like a decade. And so that really helped the Spanish kind of come in, because things were so unsteady with everyone dying. I am going to really quickly do tightline my upper waterline with my Urban Decay 24/7 Perversion Glide On pencil and do my mascara, and I will be right back. Okay, mascara is done. I was being klutzy and I freaking launched my mascara like across the desk, and I'm kind of sad that I didn't get it on video, but also it made a really loud noise, so that would not have been able to like make it into the video without hurting y'all's ears. I would have had to put like loud noise warning, please turn down your volume. But anyways, yeah, so this mascara is being weird today. I don't know, maybe it's the weather. Pretty much done with my face. Wow, that went fast. Okay. What was I gonna say? I'm just gonna give myself a little bit of a matte spritz. Do I want to add shimmer to the eyes? No, I think I'm just gonna leave the inner corner to be like the shimmery bit. And then I'm going to really quickly sharpen this pencil while I chat. But yeah, and then, so that was my trip. I know I have blathered on and on and on about it, and I have not been able to shut up about it at all since I got back a couple days ago. And tomorrow, as of when I'm filming this, but last week as of when you're seeing this most likely, is my 21st birthday. I am very excited. Not so much about like turning 21. I just more am excited to kind of start a new year of my life, and really kind of, I don't know, try new things. There is something kind of nice about turning 21. You get, you know, to go to new places. Like, there are certain areas that you can't get into unless you're 21, because of the drinking laws and stuff in the States. And I'm just very excited to, oh my goodness, I just made a whole mess with this sharpener. I'm very excited to, you know, try new things, start a new series of adventures. And yeah, so we're celebrating that on Saturday, and I am getting to see Eliza Schlesinger on Friday. She is a hilarious stand-up comedian. I've absolutely adored her and her like specials for years. I have seen her live once with my family, and then I saw that she was coming to my school, and I was so excited. I just immediately bought tickets. Like, I saw it and I was like, well, I am getting tickets, and I will figure out who's going with me later. So these tickets have been many months coming, or this show has been many months coming. I need to clean that out better later. But yeah, I'm so excited for just all of it. So it'll be a really fun weekend. One of my best friends, Hillary, is coming down. My cousin Andre is coming up. And yeah, we're gonna have a really great time on Saturday. Just lining my lips. And then I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. So that is everything that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me, for hanging out with me, for listening to me blather while I just kind of put makeup on my face. And if you like this video, I will link down my Get Ready With Me playlist and my Palette Bingo playlist, because those are also fun videos where I'm chatting and just putting on makeup. And I hope that I will see you in a future video. Thank you guys, and I hope you're having an incredible, awesome day wherever you are. Thanks, guys.